There we go. How about that? I didn't know there was an announcement for that. All right. So I'm super happy that you guys are all here today. Like I said, we're going to record this because there's some people that I talked to that were not able to make it today. So I'll record that and send it off to them if they have, questions or interested or whatever. Jackie's on here today, so she might be able to give her version of what happened. She did her first detox program. So maybe she can let us know a little bit later how that went for her. But all right, let's go ahead and get started. So this is basically to introduce you to detoxing, and we're going to talk a little bit about 3 mistakes people make when they're trying to find a detox. All right, and then go over some of the details for the program. So as most of you know, my name's Steve, and I'm the owner of wellnesswarrior.coach. I'm happy to have you all here today. And for those of you that are watching this on a replay, you can shoot me a message on my email, which is steve@wellnesswarrior.coach. So we'll have about 30 minutes to talk about these things today. I want you to walk away today to know how to do a safe detox and ways to be successful. All right, so that leads us into the mistakes. So a lot of people make mistakes when they're doing detoxing, and we're going to talk about those today. So like I said, down at the bottom, there's a spot for you to type in the checks in the chat window. Ugh, no, I can't say that. And there should be a spot to raise your hand as well. So I'm going to put everybody on mute. So if you have a question, just let me know, and I will. I can open that mic up. All right. All right. So first of all, the disclaimer thing. The information that we'll share today is for educational and informational purposes only. I want to educate you on some of the better ways to take care of your body and yourself. A lot of you know that I'm big into the nature connection and getting out and being outdoors. We won't talk about that much today, but that's part of who I am. And nothing that you hear today is to replace any information that you hear from your doctor or your healthcare professional. So it'll just be for educational and informational purposes. All right, so most of you know me already, but if you don't, because you're tuning in later, I started my major health journey in, 2011. I saw a few pictures of myself, and if you go to my webpage, I have those pictures posted. I didn't really like how I looked in those pictures, so I went searching for something to do something about it. I found a book that really resonated with me. It really got into our ancestral connections with how we're supposed to eat, how we're supposed to exercise, how we're supposed to live. And since 2011, I pretty much have followed that more or less. So it's been, I guess this August, it'll be 10 years since I started doing this. Whew. My mom really wasn't on board for the first maybe 8 years, I would have to say. But in the last little bit of time, I think my son had some issues with gluten and casein, and she's thought about it as well. So this is not to be, or this detox is not to be a life-changing, or any detox is not to be a life-changing opportunity for you. But let's first talk about what you should do when you're considering a detox. First, it's important to understand that our bodies already have their own natural detoxing program and or detoxing abilities, and that's done mainly through the liver and some other things. And you're able to flush toxins out, through your kidneys, through your digestive system, and even through your skin. But your skin's kind of like the last resort. Why do we need detoxes more than maybe we have in the 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago? It's because our environment is more and more toxic. If you spend any time listening to my lectures, there's a lot of toxins that we get in our food supply or in our drinking water, and those things tend to build up over time, and we need to clear those out of our system. We run into problems when we have too many of these toxins, and our livers have kind of hyper drive, I guess we would call it. So if you have too many toxins, then our livers make a sort of mucus that surrounds these toxins and stores them in our fat cells. So once they're in there, your fat cells are not really able to be utilized, and they just kind of sit there holding on to these toxins. So it's important to free those things up. Other things that you may notice is that, if your skin's dull and you tend to break out a lot, that is one sign that toxins are trying to get out of your body, and your skin's the worst out of all your detoxing agents in your body, like your liver and kidneys. Skin is the last resort. So when things start coming out of the skin, your other organs are overloaded. So I don't want those, mucousy filled fat cells with toxins. Like I said, they don't like to release, and then if there's toxins in those fat cells, they're less likely to be able to be used as food. So, but when you do a detox or a cleanse, and some people call it a reset, what your body is able to do is cleanse those, or break open those fat cells basically, and let those toxins into your bloodstream so they can be dumped into your bloodstream and then filtered out by liver, kidneys, skin, wherever they tend to gravitate towards, depending on what type of toxins they are. Once that happens, once you start getting rid of those toxins, then you're able to use those your fat cells a lot easier. So I know several people that did the detox last time lost several pounds, and we're just talking about 5 days here. We're not talking about months and months and months. So it's kind of crazy how some things will happen. And and I think this is probably the most important thing, is that these detoxes and cleanse could actually reset your eating habits. Sometimes we get into the habit of eating junk. I didn't have too many things that were not on my list of things to eat on vacation, but I did have a few things that kind of snowballed in a few days, and my body's ready to detox as well. So I'll be riding this storm right along with everybody who chooses to hop in. So think about think about some habits, and you may have experienced this in your life where you have a breakfast that you might not feel is the best for you, and then at lunch you say, oh well, I didn't really have a good breakfast, so I'll just have this. And then dinner comes around and says, I blew it the rest of the day, so I'm just gonna forget about the whole day, we'll start over tomorrow. And then that snowballs day after day. So detoxes are good to refocus you on those things that are important. All right. So I needed to I am having actually my detox dandelion root tea today, mainly because I'm doing the detox next week with anybody that joins up, but I'm also doing 3-day fast this week. So I'm gonna really clean it out the next 2 weeks. That's the plan, at least. All right. But generally, when people go on detoxes, a lot of people tend to fail because they make some mistakes, and I want to talk about a couple of those mistakes right now. Mistake number one is that some detoxes are just too complex. All right, they are totally divergent from your regular eating patterns, and it's too restrictive. And when things are too restrictive, as you all know, then you tend to gravitate away from those things. So, like detoxes that just do, smoothies. Well, I don't know about you, but I can do a smoothie for a few days, but after maybe a day or so, I'm about smoothied out and I'm ready for some real food. So some of these detoxes do it that way. Some of them are, just doing liquids for the whole week. I'm not interested in that either. I like to chew my food and, enjoy it and, feel it in your mouth. So I'm not really interested in just doing a liquid diet detox or even a juice. There are some juice detox diets out there. I'm not interested in that either. I'd rather have food. So some of them are just too long, especially if you're just starting out. Some detoxes are 21 days, some are a month, some are even longer than that. But you can really start seeing results after, a couple days of doing a detox. 5 days seems to be, the magic amount. So you can go for longer, but it just happens to be a time period that, really seems to work and you start to notice it. A lot of times they don't, give you everything that you need. All right. I don't know about you, but if I'm just left to pick off a list of, food items, I'm not really going to stick to that either. I don't know if you've experienced the same thing. Probably some of you may have dieted in the past, and when everything's not spelled out for you, then it's a lot harder to stick to. Some people have amazing stick-to-itiveness, but for most of us mere mortals, it's not easy for us to stick to a certain plan if we don't have a proper outline of what to do. All right. So mistake number 2 is going in at it alone. I'll use Jackie and Lenny as an example. They did not go in on it at alone on the last detox, and from what I understand, they were pretty successful over 5 days. All right. When you go in it alone, there's no support, then you're more likely to just fall off the wagon. You're more likely to just forget about it. Oh, this is too hard for today, and not stick to it. So why invest all that time if you're not going to spend that time? And in order to make sure that you stick with it, going in as a group, small group, even a pair of people really makes a big difference. You may have had in the past where somebody that you were working with doesn't really follow what you want to do, and it's a lot harder to get things done. But when you have people that are right in there with you, then it's a lot easier to stick to things. So having a buddy system or a group of people that are doing something, especially a detox, is super important. Maybe it's a friend that you bring along, You know, maybe it's a spouse that you use, maybe it's somebody, you know, an accountability partner or whatever. Just having somebody there to help you through these things is super important. All right, so take a swig of my tea here. Mistake number 3 is punishing yourself. All right, self-loathing is probably not going to make you successful in any endeavor that you choose. So, you know, we all have times where we just have a rough time sticking with things. You know, if you're on a diet, then you get hungry, and then you go into that food spiral. But all that being negative with yourself is not helpful to reach your goals, whatever your goals happen to be. All right. And the other part of punishment is doing a detox that is just too complex, too hard, too hardcore for you to be able to follow. So you don't want to have to do that too. So it is way better for in a detox program to take it gentle, use whole foods detox, and they can be very effective as well because you're eating real food compared to what we get in a lot of other packaging that you get at the store. So picking a detox program that is whole foods based is important. Part of punishing yourself is starving, and I'm not really interested in starving either. So having food that is readily available and enough options that if you get hungry, that you can find something that is in the detox that you can eat to satisfy yourself. All right. The problem with starving yourself, I just told you I was going to be on a 3-day fast next 3 days. Well, I'm not starving myself. I'm kind of I'm kind of fat adapted. I am fat adapted. So, getting into a 3-day fast for me isn't that hard. But when you're just starting out on detox, then you may get hungry and you need to have food there to satisfy you. And it shouldn't be complete torture doing any detox. We need to keep it simple, and have the foods that we need in order to be satiated as well. Jackie would be able to tell you as well, there was plenty of food on the spring detox that we did, that I didn't hear any complaints from her that she was hungry at all. So, bing, go mom, I don't want you to starve. All right. All right, so before I recap these 3 big mistakes, I wanted to talk to you that I'm qualified to help beginners out on the detox program. I am a health and wellness professional. I'm a level 2 health coach, and I'm here to be your guide, through this program. So if you're a little nervous about it, I get it. I was nervous the first time that I took the plunge into, changing my food over, but I'll be running a 5-day detox program next week. It'll be June, I think it's 6th. I think Monday's the 7th to the 11th. So it's just 5 days. I think I mentioned to somebody shot me a message, and I said, well, you can do anything for 5 days, right? That's not too bad. So, and what will come with this detox is so many recipes. if you want to, have, there'll be shopping lists, but I'll also provide you with a blank shopping list. So if you want to, just pick the things that you want to eat, that you would be able to do that. We'll have a Facebook community as well, and I will put the things to think about each day on that Facebook, in that Facebook group. And you also get an email every day to, sort of explain how you're going to be feeling, on day 2, day 3, day 4, and towards the end, just so you have an idea of what you might be expecting, and know that you're not alone in these things. So I think I can do this. So, all right, so here's, if you want to learn a little bit more about it, I put a few testimonials on here, but this will be where you can go to learn a little bit more about the summer detox. So it's just at mywellnesswarrior.coach. If you just go wellnesswarrior.coach, then you can just click the summer detox and click on there and find out some more about it and how to sign up. Julie's here as well. Hi, Julie. Thanks for hopping on today. I think I saw Melissa pop in a little bit late too. Thanks for coming. Appreciate that. All right. Let me check that out later. Let me stop the share. Stop the share. That sounds like something else, but all right. So just in summary, mistake number 1 that people do when they do a detox is that they choose something that's too big, too complex in order for them to do. Mistake number 2 is going in at it alone. So misery loves company, right? So pick a partner in crime if you choose to do the detox, and we'll have the Facebook group as a support as well. And the last one is not to punish yourself. All right, we don't want you to starve. I don't want you to starve. I don't want my mom to starve. So, and I don't want you to starve either. So there'll be plenty of food for you to eat if you choose to do that. If you're the expert of your own body, so you need to listen to it. If you're a little bit hungry, then you need to meet your needs. If you feel a little bit lightheaded, then then make sure that you take care of yourself, because that's the most important thing. All right. And the other thing is that it's important that when you do pick a detox, that it is whole foods based, right? Does anybody have any questions?
Hi, Steve. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay. So this detox sounds really great. I was just wondering, I know you said you provide a lot of the recipes, and I was just wondering if there's flexibility with that, if things in the recipes are interchangeable as long as it comes from approved food lists and such.
Oh yeah, totally. There's more recipes than you could probably use in 2 weeks, and you can pick and choose what you want to use. So if you're like a type of person that just wants to eat the same thing every day, you can totally do that. If you want to change it up every day, you can do that as well. Probably.
Great, thank you.
Probably my favorite thing is there's a I wouldn't call it a recipe, but there's a salad recipe type thing, and it just says, pick a few things from here, pick a few things from this list, pick a few things from this list, and throw it all together.
Mm-hmm. Steve, how do you provide the recipes? Are they emailed, or is there a book, or how do you do it?
I'll send you an email with everything on it. Yeah, everything will be on there, and like I said, there'll be a menu if you want to go by that, and there'll also be a blank one. So if you just want to do your own thing, then you can totally do that as well.
I have a question.
Yes.
What can we expect for, like, I know that when I've done these things in the past, I've gotten like major headaches, kind of. Is there any, do you think that would happen with this type of detox, or what do you suggest? Or do we just reach out to you if that starts happening?
So I definitely want you to put that into the Facebook group, that you're having those things. I will send you an email every morning before you wake up, and to give you an idea what's going to be coming down the line for you for that particular day. I will have a pre-detox meeting on Thursday night if you choose to do the detox, and we'll talk more about those things. But definitely, if you are far away from a Whole Foods type eating lifestyle, then those headaches and things, you should expect maybe to have a headache for a day or something like that, while your body kind of detoxifies.
Okay, thanks.
Steve, I'm sure you have a list of substances to be avoided. Can you tell us what those are?
So I will not provide you with that, because I'm only going to give you things that you can eat. We're going to keep this positive, right, Nancy? So it'll be all the things you can have. I'll even give you a list of snacks that you can't have as well, to have those on hand too.
Well, I mean, some people might need to do some shopping, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So I would, that's why the pre-meeting is on Thursday night. So you have, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to, get what you need to get. And I will talk about that ad nauseum on Thursday, about how to approach, eating and stuff like that. I mean, the purchasing of things.
So could I ask Jackie? Jackie, I know that you did this before. Could you just talk a little bit about your experience and, maybe some positive things that you took away from it?
Oh, hold on. You got to turn your mic on. Whoop, whoop. There she is.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
It's very doable. Don't be afraid. And the most fantastic thing about this detox is Stephen's going to be doing it also. The one I was on, he had done it previous, so he wasn't really on board every single day. I mean, he was there and all that, but he wasn't doing it those days. But this time he will be, so he can share exactly what he's eating, and you can pick and choose the things you think you would like to eat. And like he said, you can repeat things that you particularly like. A couple of days for breakfast, have the same thing, a couple of days for lunch, and then, switch it up with dinner. It's totally doable. And it was like a game. It was great. You're doing something good for yourself. And for me, it was like a reset, because every once in a while I get back to some bad habits. And I'm there right now. So I need a little reset. So that's what I'm going to call it.
Okay, that's good to know. Steve, is most of your communication on Facebook? Because I'm not on Facebook and I really don't want to be.
Well, I'll send an email every morning, and then I'll also post the same thing in Facebook. So, you'll still get all the information that everybody else will get.
Okay.
I didn't really use the Facebook aspect of it when I did mine.
You did not?
No, if I had any questions or whatever, I just, text Stephen. I didn't go to the Facebook thing. I really didn't know how to do it. Couldn't figure it out. So don't worry about that, Nancy.
The other thing that I'm going to give you is a handbook, and the handbook is going to give you like a bunch of other suggested things, like self-care things to do throughout the week. So, spend some, if you choose to do this, spend some time. I'll go over the handbook as well on Thursday night. but spend some time going over the stuff in the handbook because it's very, very thorough, and there's a ton of stuff in there. You don't have to do every single thing, but you know, some people, you know, need extra magnesium, and you know, there'll be ways to do that. If you really want to get into it, there'll also be a supplement list that you can take, you know, to ride along with that, but you definitely don't have to do that if you don't want.
So Steve, the handbook and the list are emailed to people and you can have that to use later on if you want?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely. So there's just a little thing in the back. Obviously, you know, it's not for, you know, distribution purposes. So it's just for, you know, your personal use.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid, Nancy. If you have any problems or questions, you can text me too. I'll
Thank
give you some
you.
tips.
So
It was
actually,
kind of fun. It was kind of fun.
on my website, I think I have what my mom said about it, and a couple other, my dad said about it, and a couple other people that, you know, did the first detox. So you can check those out as well.
Yeah, I actually lost like 4.5 pounds. My husband lost 9.
Well,
that's-
that's good too.
Yeah, that's good. It's like a little just kickstart to make your body healthy. And then a lot of that, after you've done that for 5 days, you're like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to develop some of these little habits. You know.
And for some of you that have been on, you know, my lectures on Monday nights, we talk about, you know, those little habit building things, you know, stacking habits on other habits. So, you know, that's kind of what'll be in the handbook. That'll be less about the eating and more about like the lifestyle stuff.
I could eat some of it.
All right, any other questions? All right, like I said, you know, if you're interested, you can shoot me a, you know, an email at steve@wellnesswarrior.coach. Some of you have my cell phone number, so you can use that as well. So it's also a few more of the details are on my website, which is wellnesswarrior.coach. And then if you click the summer detox, that'll give you more information about the detox as well. All right, anything else? All right. If there's any other questions, please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to answer those. It's a little bit of quick turnaround this week because on Thursday the 3rd, we'll have the pre-detox meeting where I'll go over absolutely everything that is in the program. But like I said, you'll get a handbook that is very exhaustive. The recipe book is 39 pages, so there's plenty of recipes in there for everybody to like something. And there'll be a smoothie list too, so if you're into that or you just want to try one, there's plenty of recipes for that as well. And a lot of it will be seasonal foods, so there'll be summer-ish type foods on there. So it'll be a little bit different than what we had in the spring. Spring was more focused on the foods that are available then. All right. All right, thanks for coming, everybody. Hope to hear from you soon. And any last questions? That I heard somebody squeaking on there. All right. Thanks for coming. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks,
a lot.
Steve.
You're welcome.